I'm 24 now, and my mom is 53. Ever since I was a kid, wherever we went, people would always say how much we looked alike, especially our faces. "You two look like sisters," was the comment Mom heard the most, and every time, she would smile so brightly. That resemblance to her was a little joy in a life full of hardships. But there's something most people don't know. My mom suffers from multiple chronic health problems. Her body has weakened over the years, and she can barely exercise like a normal person. Despite being incredibly careful with her diet, her body just kept gaining weight. She tried everything: fasting, medication, regular doctor visits, but all her efforts only ever reached the point of trying. Some days, she'd quietly look at herself in the mirror, not saying a word. I knew she wasn't upset about her looks, but rather that helpless feeling of not being able to do more for herself. And yet, in her eyes, whenever someone told me I looked like her, there was always a flicker of light, like she still saw herself as beautiful in some way. Maybe that resemblance was a small gift I unknowingly gave to her. About 2 years ago, I was in the worst shape of my life, both physically and health-wise. Looking back, I could blame a lot of things: work stress, lack of sleep, poor eating habits. But honestly, it was mostly just me letting myself go. I was lazy, unmotivated, and pretty much gave up on taking care of my body. The weight piled on. I was always tired and sluggish. I didn't control what I ate, barely slept enough, and worst of all, I had no reason to change. I didn't even realize how far off I was from simply being healthy. And then something small happened, something that seemed trivial but stuck with me. One day, I picked up my mom's phone to check something and casually held it up to my face. Suddenly, it unlocked. I was shocked and laughed out loud. "Mom, your phone recognized my face," I said. She looked at me, smiled so gently and so happily. That moment wasn't just about facial recognition. It felt like a subtle affirmation that between us, there was still a thread of connection, at least in the face she was once proud to call her own. Maybe that moment was what planted the seed in my mind, or maybe not. But soon after, I decided to change. Not because I wanted to be prettier, or because anyone had made me feel bad. I just wanted to feel better. I wanted to wake up in the morning without feeling heavy, without being out of breath after a few steps. I started small, cut back on fast food, got better sleep, went for morning walks. Eventually, I learned to eat mindfully, exercised regularly, and listened to my body more. That journey took over a year. Tough, but absolutely worth it. Each time I wore something that fit better or walked a little lighter, Mom was always the first to notice. "You look so different," she'd say, eyes glowing with pride. Even though she couldn't do what I did, I never saw a hint of jealousy in her. She was always happy for me, genuinely, wholeheartedly. In her glances and quiet praises, I felt unconditional love, a silent joy only a mother feels when her child is learning to care for herself. But then, something small, sad, and unexpected began to change. One day, out of habit, I held my face up to her phone again. This time, it didn't unlock. I tried once more. Still nothing. And suddenly, I felt something shift in me. It shouldn't have meant anything, but it did. I realized my face had changed, enough that her phone no longer recognized me. And just like that, something once shared between us, at least physically, felt more distant than ever before. She was sitting nearby, so I quickly typed in the password, then smiled like nothing had happened. "It unlocked again, Mom," I said casually. She smiled, just as brightly as ever. She didn't suspect a thing. In her mind, we were still connected, still similar, still the same. I don't know why it made me sad. Maybe I was afraid she'd notice that we no longer looked alike. My changes, though positive, had unintentionally taken something away, something that used to bring her comfort. Since that day, I always make sure to enter her password quickly, before she can see. And from then on, I kept that routine. Every time I pick up her phone, I enter the code without hesitation, then turn to her with a smile and say, "Hey Mom, it unlocked again." Like nothing had changed at all. It might sound silly, a tiny, harmless lie. But for me, it's a way to keep her smiling. My mom loves being compared to me. She never needed me to be exactly like her, but in her heart, that small moment of recognition, my face unlocking her phone, meant we were still the same. It meant she was still young, still beautiful, in the way she believed. On quiet days, when she sits watching the rain in silence, I'll hold up her phone again, silently key in the password, and when the screen lights up, I'll look over and say softly, "It unlocked again." She'll smile faintly, her eyes a little softer. I know it's not the truth. But I also know, to her, it doesn't matter. What matters is the feeling of being connected, of being loved, of still being part of the daughter she's proud of. And if a little lie can keep that feeling alive, then I'll tell it for as long as she needs.